Yeah.
Are you Liam? Are you the one in the TV say Shad Allah? Please for us. Sotez bhai.
Yeah, if I take the question that
Yes,
basically Liam was asking about what takes people to drugs, I think, Dizzy Rascal, it's interesting you saying it. I think it's become popular. It's, it's very, if you're young, and if you're, if you've not had really strong values put into you, if you come from a dysfunctional family, or even sometimes if it's not a dysfunctional family, but you listen to rap music, whatever, you see the videos, they're all over the place. I remember when I was very young, Dr. Dre's track came out, and it's it's all smoke weed every day sort of thing, Snoop Dogg, whatever it is, and now there's loads of other ones that they popularize this, selling this is okay. I mean, it makes it sort of okay. There's not a huge, and then you see quite a few people when you're in school used to deal. I remember when I was little, there used to be this thing where people, that were seen as younguns, they wouldn't be dealing, people that were older, but now you see young kids dealing. They find other ways to do it, and like I said, a lot of it goes back to actually money, and there's actually an entire market and economy that's driven by the demand and supply of drugs, that comes in and out of this area. And it's not just street kids in the States, it's also places like Canary Wharf, where there's lots of people that are taking crack cocaine, whatever it is. There's yes, of course, people are taking Class C, B, cannabis and all of this. So there's actually a really big mix of things going on, and there's an entire economy that basically means lots of people demand it. Therefore, there will be lots of people supplying it in order to make money. I think that's a huge thing. The other thing is the image. It's not seen as, not amongst everybody, as that bad. Lots of people become used to it. You get socialized within it. If you see drug dealing in school, it's not oh my god. When you see it in college, university, and on the street, you're saying, oh, that's a drug deal happening there. When we see two cars pull up side by side. But somebody maybe in Bromley or further out where they're not used to seeing this sort of thing might think, oh my god, that's going on.
But a few years ago, we used to see boys doing it. That was a cool thing for boys, and they got flashy cars. But now the girls are getting involved. But this is more dangerous because they get them to hooked, and then they use them for different reasons, prostitution, all that stuff.
We're seeing different dimensions of what, the side effects of drug dealing and the drug market.
So is that the people say, because those kids who's having it, because all their friends are having it, they think everyone's having it. But that's not true though. Not everyone's having it. Not many people having drugs at all.
Often what happens, I think, is it's like a subculture that happens. So it's not true that everybody in Tower Hamlets is on drugs. It's still a small percentage. But that percentage basically ends up as a subculture where they know who the dealers are. They know who to call. They'll get their business. They also know who else to sell it to. You're absolutely right. There are older people who basically get young kids, girls and boys, hooked onto this, which leads them to, drug addiction is expensive. And even if it's not an addiction, and they call it, let's say, what's the word when they say when they use it for, whether it's medicinal purposes or recreational purposes, it's still expensive, But half the kids in Tower Hamlets, half the households grow up in below the poverty line, and of that, lots of some of them use drugs. It's expensive, so they need to find a way of funding this, whether it means working for them or doing something dodgy or stealing.